What's up everyone? Welcome back. I am back. It has been a few weeks, but I needed to take a step back for a little bit, deal with some stuff in real life that I won't bore you with, but also to just take a breather after losing an entire video that I had put together for you all about multiplayer. A 13-minute long video, so many hours of editing about the current state of multiplayer. Is there a nasty bug right now? Yes. Is multiplayer completely broken and currently unplayable until the next patch? No. It is perfectly playable, especially if you are with a group that knows what's up and understands the basic mechanics of Wolcen multiplayer and the down but not out system. The bug that we ran into prevented a dead player from spawning back in town after being killed. They are left on the ground, unable to click on anything other than escaping to the main menu and creating a new game. For us, this was avoided by simply having the surviving teammates just go die, at which point the entire group was respawned back in town because the expedition has been failed. Now, I mentioned a group that knows what's up, so another thing to note is that this bug can be completely avoided if you are playing with a group of people that understand that in Wolcen, when your health reaches 0, you do not just die right away. Your character will just take a knee, and this is called the DBNO state, or down but not out state, and just as it suggests, you are down but you are not out yet. At which point a circular icon will pop up on screen. The depleting progress bar around the icon represents the down but not out timer and is the limited amount of time your group members have to revive you. Being hit by an enemy while reviving a fallen teammate will interrupt the revive and you will have to start the process over because it does take a second or two to fully revive them. I initiated the revive by simply clicking with the cursor on my fallen buddy's kneeling body. And yes, in multiplayer, it is completely up to your teammates to revive you if you fall. There is no way, as of right now, to revive yourself in multiplayer. So that was the short version of a video that was completely fine. The project file was saved, it was ready to render, but I had to leave for a little bit. When I came back, Windows had automatically updated, which should not even be possible, but whatever. And when I went to go render the already had been saved file, the video clips just started reading as corrupted, even though all the source video files were still perfectly fine. I troubleshooted for hours and hours, reinstalled the video editor, and a brand new project with brand new video clips did the same exact thing. Oh yeah. I was steaming mad at this point because that meant having to find a new video editing program. Yay. So please bear with me as I get back on my feet, now using completely different video editing software and I get myself more familiar with it. I definitely apologize to all of my subscribers. You are all so awesome and I appreciate your patience very much. I really do hate boring you all with these stories, but I just wanted to give you all, mostly the subs, some context as to what has been going on. Now that I got all that excrement off my shoulders, I do feel better. But we have missed a few news updates over the last few weeks, showcasing new skills and their modifiers that will be introduced with the next big patch, more information about what exactly the next big patch is all about, a release date window for the next patch, and even a planned release date for the final release of the game, which means the return of female characters and, most anticipated by myself, finally, the introduction of the apocalyptic forms. Yes! But that is not all. So if you have not done so already, then go ahead and take this moment to smash that subscribe button. Remember to ding that bell if you would like to be notified when new videos drop, and keep yourself up to date with all things Wolcen. The final release of the game is approaching fast, so let's just get into it. Alright, so I'm not going to cover every single little detail that we have missed here on this channel. A lot of it is still a work in progress, subject to change, and there is just no point in doing videos anymore about this kind of stuff until we start getting closer to the release of a patch, at which point we all know that the devs will most likely put out a change log and we can all go over the new stuff then. That being said, there will always be little bits of bombshells scattered here and there throughout all of Wolcen's news updates, Trello board, forums, and even their Twitter account. There will always be takeaways that stand out above the rest, so first and foremost, I suppose, is the big one. Wolcen Studio finally came out and publicly announced a release date window for both Content Patch 2 and for the final release of the game. Now, I say release date window because they didn't give us any specific date, just a window of time that we can all expect to see it. For example, the next big patch, Content Patch 2, The Wrath of Sarazel, is planned to release in late September or early October of 2019. No specific date, just sometime within there. The final release of the game has been announced as planned to release in January of 2020. Again, no specific date, just sometime in January. Of course, Wolcen Studio will keep us all up to date about what is happening as they get closer to releasing these, and I will, of course, be keeping a very close eye on it. Again, there has been quite a bit that we missed here, but the main takeaways that I got from all of the news updates is that at the final release of the game, it will include 3 acts of an epic and immersive campaign that will continue on for years, a new in-game storyline tied to the campaign, multiplayer and cooperative content, max character level will be 90, 21 archetypes in the Gate of Fates, that is the skill tree, 40 skills including summoning skills with 12 to 16 modifiers per skill, 4 apocalyptic forms with their dedicated skills and attacks, crafting, pets, character customization including the return of the female character, 10 tiers of armors, special armors and very cool uniques, armor skin transfer and tinting, customizable game rules thanks to area alterations, and secondary/optional content. But that is not all. Wolcen's development will not end with the release of the game. It will be the beginning of a long story of additional free content, new acts, new items, new and returning features that will enrich the game and continuously provide new challenges and activities for players. Now again, all that stuff that I just mentioned will not be introduced into the game until the final release, which again is currently planned to release in January 2020. The next big patch, the one that is planned to release within the next few weeks at this point, is Content Patch 2, The Wrath of Sarazel. So what is The Wrath of Sarazel? Well, The Wrath of Sarazel is an additional game mode, primarily focused on multiplayer and cooperation and will require strategy. Now this content is available to do solo, although it is mainly focused on multiplayer. To access the Wrath of Sarazel challenge, you will need to add several area alterations to an expedition. Each one will add more difficulty and, of course, increase the chance of epic rewards at the end of the challenge. Once you launch an altered dungeon and activate Wrath of Sarazel, you and your party will enter a randomly generated area with the selected alterations. In there, you will have a chance to be attacked by Sarazel's half-breeds along the way, appearing when you least expect it. Once engaged in this specific challenge, unlike for other expeditions, even modified by an area alteration, you will not have any loot until you complete the dungeon. And finally, like in any other expedition, there is no way to retreat and teleport back to town. The half-breeds that you will meet there have complex attack patterns, and their damage is also based on your lowest resistance score, which makes them quite fearsome opponents. You will need strategy and fast reflexes to defeat them. Another thing to be aware of is the introduction of the Nemesis. When a party member is killed, the creature who gave the last hit becomes a nemesis for the entire group. This implies several things. 1, the creature's health is fully regenerated and all elements affecting it are cleansed. 2, the creature gets stronger and it is granted an additional boss modifier for each player killed. And 3, you cannot revive the player who was killed by the nemesis as long as the nemesis still stands. Completing a Sarazel dungeon leads you to a victory screen full of information. Depending on your efficiency, you will receive a team rank, and this rank will affect the quality of the rewards you will receive. This is still a work in progress, but here is the first version of the Sarazel victory screen. Ranks will depend on several factors linked to your party performance and your own. The victory screen will also allow you to see your overall performance during the dungeon. And lastly, finishing a Sarazel dungeon will grant you experience, gold, primordial affinity, and most importantly, awesome items with unique affixes only available in this challenge for the moment. Later, these affixes will also be available for solo content through crafting or other ways, but currently, Wolcen wants to encourage players to play this mode if they want to obtain them. Also, in order to allow players to make the fastest dungeon, you will not have loot during your exploration, but you will be rewarded twice at the end. Once with a chest, and once more after the dungeon with a victory screen. Depending on the difficulty of the dungeon and the rank achieved, the victory screen can add up to 5 rewards. Here are 2 examples of rewards that you can acquire in these dungeons. Just keep in mind that the values are not yet final. And everyone at Wolcen Studios hopes that you are all as excited as they are about this new challenge mode, The Wrath of Sarazel. It is an ambitious experiment, and Wolcen wants it to be an awesome cooperative experience, so they are very interested to hear your feedback to improve it for the final release of the game in January 2020. And again, Content Patch 2, The Wrath of Sarazel, is planned to release in late September or early October 2019, so just a few weeks away. Alright, if you are still with us, then I am sending you a mental projection right now. High five. You deserve it. I know these tend to drag on, so to say thank you, I have one last little bit of info for you. It was announced on September 17th that there will be a personal chest wipe for the next patch, Content Patch 2. This was not originally planned. We thought there would only be one more wipe, which will be a complete wipe at the final release of the game, so in January, but as Wolcen's community manager explains, for technical reasons, we will need to make a personal chest wipe for the next update and re-roll all of the items in your inventory due to an addition and revamp of affixes. So, to make sure that you keep your items, gems, and interacts, you will need to take them out of your stash and put them in your inventory before the patch arrives. That means any of you out there that have been grinding legendaries and uniques, and especially if you would like to keep them going into the next patch, then before Content Patch 2 releases, you will need to log into the game and pull everything that you want to keep out of your stash and just pile it all up in your inventory. Use multiple characters, create new characters to use as mules if you need even more space. Just remember to go to game settings and change it to Soldier of Fortune mode so you don't start up in a new campaign. It's getting very exciting, especially to finally start hearing more about the apocalyptic forms that were teased so very long ago. It has already been announced that there will be a news update all about the apocalyptic forms before the release of the game, so I look forward to that and ultimately to finally playing them. I have put links in the description of this video to all the news updates that I missed. If you have not seen them yet, then I recommend you go check them out, where you can see previews of the new skills, their modifiers, and a few new unique items coming with Content Patch 2. Also, I have put a link to a video that was put up on Wolcen's YouTube channel on August 29th. It is another gameplay trailer, and I gotta say, that orchestra they hired to do the soundtrack is amazing, and it really pays off. The trailers that they keep putting out sure do one hell of a job getting you hyped up. If you have not seen it yet, again, I highly recommend you go check that out as well. It is a trailer that Wolcen Studios put together to present at this year's 2019 Gamescom. It is fantastic, and it gives you a preview of what the game will be more like at the final release by showing off some more apocalyptic form in action, and also a preview of some new skills and the enemies in Content Patch 2, The Wrath of Sarazel. Don't forget that the first version of the animation cancel is also supposed to be implemented with the next patch, and that, in my opinion, should be fantastic. I cannot wait to feel that, so stick around for more Wolcen videos as things start to heat up. But as we head off, I would like to leave you with one last thought. It was mentioned that development of the game would not stop at the release of the game, that Wolcen Studio will continue to add additional free content, acts, etc., but most importantly, new and returning features that will enrich the game and continuously provide new challenges and activities for players. So not just challenge stuff, but activity stuff. So if you are one of those people like myself who saw the housing feature in the alpha version of the game, and you too, like myself, are wondering if we are ever going to see that again, just ask yourself, especially if you saw it, but if you had put that much work into a feature that worked and looked as good as this one did, even if things were being developed as just a placeholder at that point in time, even if you had to remake the game from the ground up, I ask you, would you just completely throw out all of that work, every single little piece of it, and then just scrap the entire idea? Anyways, just a thought, just my opinion. It means nothing really, but I sure do look forward to the future of this game after final release and to these returning features and activities. But alright, take it easy everyone. Thank you so much again for bearing with me. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, and hopefully I will catch you all again next time.